At the Global Assembly, I've been serving as a facilitator for the Francophone and Arabic cluster, along with my team from the School of Collective Intelligence. I really like to think of my role as being a connector, just like the hub of a spider web connects the frame threads and borders of the web. Since my role was all about cultivating connections to widen the circle, helping build a network of host organizations in Africa and the Middle East to street recruit local citizens to take part in the assembly. With other cluster facilitators, we built a huge network of organizations and citizens from every corner in the world, capturing a true snapshot of humanity. We've all had one common vision, and that was to build a new story, a story of who we are as citizens, what we are capable of, and why we cannot let up in this fight against climate change. Well, we were all brought up around stories of mighty kings, fearless knights, and powerful nobility. Stories where we, the citizens and commoners, were nothing more than side characters serving no bigger purpose than moving the story along. Now, the key moments that stood out this year for me and that touched me on a deeper level were the moments that reminded me that what we are building at the Global Assembly is bigger than an ordinary assembly of citizens. It's an entire shift in the way we think and see ourselves as citizens. We're changing the narrative, building a new story where we are one of the main characters side to side with others. Now, one of those moments that made me feel as such was the day the members of the assembly presented their People's Declaration for the Sustainable Future of Planet Earth at COP26 to world leaders. The voices featured that day were voices of people that we do not normally hear from, people whose stories were never told, were lost, or judged insignificant. Seeing them speaking before the world, addressing a matter that touches them deeply and affects their daily life, made me realize that it's where we belong. That's our place, standing shoulder to shoulder with decision makers and world leaders. Climate change requires collective efforts, a public narrative where we are all main characters with a common goal and vision. But just like my journey with the Global Assembly was filled with joyful, memorable moments, there were also moments of disappointment and frustration. Near the end of the deliberations, it was brought to my attention that a community host has committed some fraudulent acts in regards to the assembly member they were hosting. He wasn't paid fairly, he was paid only one third of the amount budgeted. It was so frustrating to see him being treated so unfairly. But this made me think that the Global Assembly is really a true snapshot of the human family. It is actually mirroring the world's population with its good and bad. I would love to see this idea of having global citizen assemblies normalized. Just like you go to see the doctor when you feel sick, or you seek advice from your mom when lost, world leaders need to come to terms with the fact that people detain the knowledge and expertise they need, that we need to solve our world's biggest challenges. They should thus be given a permanent seat at the governance table. I would really love to see the Global Citizen Assembly implemented as a permanent governance infrastructure, complementary to other bodies, working hand in hand together to reimagine and rebuild our world.